Nice flight to that.
Good flight to that one, a bit of a toe strike, so maybe that argument that if strike does move around the head a little bit, you can offset a little bit that strike with more mass.
324-yard tapping.
Too good. Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So today, Michael, we have a brand new shaft to review, the VA SYNYSTR CB, a new addition to the counterbalance line of shaft we have on the wall. Gives us some other fitting options.
I've seen, obviously you've had it for a couple of weeks or whatever, but other than its counterbalance and there's some tungsten in it, I know nothing about it.
Well, I think that's, let's explore a little bit of that today. So from the bend profile, it is definitely in stiffer, design designation. So we see some T1100 material, which we know is synonymous with some of the stiffer shafts that we see out there. So we see that in the tip. But the other unique feature of this is the tungsten weight or tungsten powder that's added to the butt end of this one to give us that counterbalance element. So with the plethora of options we've got from a headweight perspective now, it is great to have, from a balance point perspective, the opportunity to maybe offset a little bit of headweight from some of the heavier companies.
Yeah.
We're going to focus a little bit more on today on sort of, my own head, the GT3, and, what this little, pouch of fun gives us. So within the Titleist weight kit that we're going to kind of explore today, we've got, obviously, the standard weight. I used my own driver, it's 8 grams, Mikey. We've got as low as 4 grams if we want to go 4 under, and we've got as much as 14 if we want to add 6. So
that's a lot.
Within that 10 gram sort of weight range, it gives us a real sort of opportunity to offset maybe the length of a shaft, the counterbalance nature of a shaft, or the opposite. If maybe you want to go a little bit shorter and add some headweight, and maybe someone is struggling a little bit with strike and we want to kind of shift CG a little bit more, so we'll lean on the gold weight to move that CG a little bit more. But let's explore that a little bit certainly today. So I'm going to plug in the SYNYSTR CB into my own driver at standard, which comes out to about just under D2, right? So I play my driver about D3.5, right, so there's about a swing weight and a half of CB to it versus the VeloCore Plus. And then let's play around a little bit with that weight kit.
Love it. Okay, for our specs, SYNYSTR CB 65X, or 65.5.
Yeah, 67 grams raw?
Yes. Yep, 67 grams raw. GT3, D1 setting, and we have the silver weight, which is minus 2 grams.
Yeah. So that's where I had it with my VeloCore Plus. I thought it was red, but it's actually silver. I think at one point it actually might have been green. I think I'd up a couple of grams just to feel the head a little bit more. But it's definitely now in the lighter range with this combination. So let's explore that a little bit and what someone might get if they get too light in swing weight.
Good strike. Yep. And that weight's just in neutral?
Yeah. Little leaky, but not bad.
Compared to your gamer, you feel quite a difference in shaft?
Yeah, it feels, the shaft, I think to me, interestingly, feels stiffer. And because I'm less aware of the head, I'm getting a sense of the shaft feeling a bit, just a tad stiffer, Mikey. And I don't like when I can't feel the shaft load or I can't feel the head. This is the type of shaft I feel like I would maybe want to play slightly softer and flex.
Right, okay.
Maybe an X untipped. This has been tipped probably half or 3/4.
Brings the feel back a bit.
Yep.
You have a hard time finding where the center club face is with the shaft?
I think so.
No,
I mean, looking at where those last
strikes are good,
three are
some can come out a little low.
A little bit, which is me.
Yeah.
Especially when my angle of attack gets there. So I think there's a lot coming out of this thing. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we get into maybe something like the black weight, where you start to get 4 grams extra. What that could do to the ball flight, Mikey, but especially the feel of the shaft too. Bad, a little bit heely, but for the most part decent. Yeah, so I like some good ones, some misses, Overall, not bad.
Yeah.
Let's change that weight over.
If weight change went from the silver weight to the black weight.
Yep.
So 2 grams, 4 grams added, but this is a 2 gram weight basically. So 4 grams difference to what we had the original. So
yeah.
D5.
This doesn't sound much.
Yeah.
In the overall grand scheme of a 205 gram head, 4 grams is not much. But as a sort of percentage point of the overall mass, when we're talking about balance point especially, I think you're aware of it. So one thing to note, guys, I mean, ultimately, the overall weight of the club got heavier, right? So we're in a slightly heavier head weight. We've obviously got 60 cut weight, probably 64 grams, 50 gram grip. So overall, this has gotten a little bit heavier, but by moving the balance point further up the shaft, and when we talk about balance point, I think we measured it on certain shafts, it's about maybe 2 to 3 inch of change. So like a really low balance point will be like here. Really high will be like here.
Yeah.
It's tiny.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like goes the balance point here and then it goes to there. So it's like moving center of gravity.
Right.
But it does make a difference. Let's see. You can feel it already. You know, feel certainly the weight of it more substantial.
A little bit different sound out of the gates too.
It just feels like a bit softer.
Okay. What are you expecting to see from the change?
Better results for me personally, because I think when I start to have the relationship where I feel the head a bit more, generally better things happen for me. Can I get a little bit casty, a little bit snatchy from the top? Light allows that to get away from me a little bit. So I think depending how smooth your transition is, I have a fairly smooth swing. I don't have that smoother transition.
Right. Okay. Good strike. Nice flight to that.
Good flight to that one. A bit of a toe strike. So maybe that argument that if strike does move around the head a little bit, you can offset a little bit that strike with more mass.
324-yard tapping.
It's good. Pretty solid.
Sounds really good.
Yeah.
As soon as that weight went heavier, strike definitely sounds better.
A bit better. So quite interesting to see ball speed climb, launch and spin, really not much of a difference.
No.
Just really the ball speed gain. We'll go to club a second. Club head speed is just popped up a little bit.
I guess strike technically a little bit more center.
A little bit, just a touch. Pretty similar.
Yeah.
Let's go green. Let's go lighter. Let's see what happens if somebody's maybe forgets that they've got a counterbalance shaft and tries to stick with the original head weight. Because that was, at one point, like I said, playing green.
Right.
You know, in this head, because GT3 is a little bit heavier than TSR was.
All right. A little weight change into the green weight, which is -4.
Yeah.
So
swing 6 grams of change from where we were just at. And it really feels lighter.
D5 now into D1.5.
Yeah.
Great swing.
Better.
Looks quicker.
I'll pick up there, 116.
Any particular weight setting that felt the best?
I don't think it's shown up yet in the numbers. There's a bit of speed to this one. And I think if I was still playing some of the lighter shafts and stuff like that, I would really enjoy this.
Yeah.
But I'm aware of how light it feels.
Yeah.
You know, it does feel like it's got a bit of activity in it, but I don't know if it would fill me with confidence. Back, tell you what, it's good results with the green.
Yeah.
Look at those numbers.
It looks like almost like you can get after it, but also really stable. Strike gets a little higher.
Yeah.
Club head speeds up a bit.
Up a bit. So probably just warmed up from the first one with the silver. So a little bit of a climb.
Ball speeds up.
Interesting how really launch and spin, for me, can be different for different people. But really hasn't influenced launch and spin much. Go to club data. Let's see if it's influenced path. Not really.
Same almost.
Very, very similar. Yeah, just speed. They're definitely quicker. We obviously saw the one at 116, a couple more in the 115 territory. I don't think that's, again, I always harp on foresight. That's a good representation of the strikes.
Yeah, of course.
I think the strikes were much better than that, and the numbers are really, really good. I mean, 3 miles an hour on top of what we saw originally.
And super tight dispersion. I mean, it looks like you compare just those two, tighter and straight.
Yeah, but there's only a couple of grams, and you know, I definitely think this. If we go back to the shaft, we're kind of a little bit strained towards, you know, talking about obviously the influence of moving the weights in the head, but it's really the ability to move the weights in the head is down to the shaft characteristics. And if we have a lower balance point shaft, we won't really have that ability to stray as much unless we go shorter. You know, not something we want to do because then you lose a little bit of our leverage through speed. So I just think it's a great option that it gives us the ability to get into that weight kit.
Yeah.
Right? You know, we can go higher. Not that much good happens when you go much lower. I think you can turn a stable head into a really stable head. And obviously a fast head into a stable head as well. So you can kind of win a little bit on that too.
I think that's where people ask, like, oh, I don't know what swing weight I play. Obviously, you and I know swing weights that when we build a driver or irons or whatever for ourselves, we know kind of what we like. But if your fitter is not working with, you know, external weights, which is a weight kit, and playing around with obviously different options, you're in the wrong place. So.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, when it comes to the irons, like it's one of the reasons we love the Ping iron set, because that little, you know, screw in the toe nowadays gives us the ability to fluctuate in swing weight. And if we want it, if we don't want to take it away, do we want a tip weight that moves the CG more heel side? Do we want a toe weight that moves it more to the toe side? Where do you need the support and how do you need the performance? I think, you know, as fitters, we lead the build conversation and sort of how we design our kind of fit sheets and also how we pick components is a big part of obviously how we dictate the build will go. Yeah. You know, we're picking heavy, low balance point components if we want a higher swing weight. We're going higher balance point light components if we want to give someone the ability to maybe turn over a little bit more. Again, that's all should be fitter driven, and that's certainly the way we do it.
100%.
Okay, Michael, so Synyster 6505, Synyster CB, a nice option for the Matrix?
Definitely. I mean, like we said, obviously the ability to, you know, utilize a weight kit and play around with some stuff. But I mean, for you as well, for that, maybe that player that needs something with a bit more stability, like the 65X was impressive, super stable, and it looked like it was just on a rope all the time. So nice addition. Really, really stable. And if you get down into the 55 gram territory, you know, cut weight probably looking at 51, 52 grams, raw 55. A reasonable, you know, reasonably low torque for that type of shaft. I think, you know, in the materials that are in T1100, I think you're going to find as well, you can probably go a little bit softer, maybe a little bit softer, a little bit lighter, offset a little bit of that kind of counterbalance and sort of get into some of those other head weights. Gives us some great options. 100%. Okay. All right, guys, let us know, is counterbalance shafts or are counterbalance shafts something you've dabbled with in the past? When you get a profile like this, it maybe mirrors your sort of low balance point shaft, if you want to call it that, and it's something that was really quite stable, but this is going to maybe open up the options in terms of what head that you want to play. Maybe you've always wanted to play a Ping, but there's a certain shaft that you've liked and it's not made it possible in the past. Maybe this opens that up now. So let us know your thoughts on shaft selection, if you've dabbled on your own or if you got fit and something with a higher balance point really worked well for you in a case like this. Definitely. Always good to know. All right, guys, stay tuned for more. We'll see you again soon.